In 2012, the Environmental Protection Agency released findings regarding municipal solid wastes. In this report, it was stated that Americans generated about 251 million tons of trash and recycled and composted only 87 million tons of this material. This is equivalent to a 34.5% recycling rate. Not so good. We need to act now with ideas and designs that will drastically change and ultimately improve how our nation thinks about waste. If we do not, our nation, our world, will face serious consequences such as forest and resource depletion, worsened environmental conditions, and landfills that are simply too filled with waste. It is up to us to pass on this knowledge and educate students so that the next generation can begin to think critically and implement innovative strategies for managing our planet's resources based on 3 easy steps: reduce, reuse, and recycle. My name is Emily, and this presentation will highlight some basic facts about recycling and conservation, as well as offer specific options for teachers to incorporate this understanding into their lessons. I will be focusing on the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle, and how they can be used in the classroom. Let's begin with reduce. While recycling is extremely important, it cannot be the only focus. In 2011, EcoCycle, an organization working towards building zero-waste communities, released a report that said we consumed at a rate of 123%, which means we use 23% more resources than our planet can sustain. Sorting is not enough. We must actively make choices that result in less material and therefore less waste. As teachers, we can pass on this understanding through examples and expectations. We have to utilize paper. When making handouts for your class, consider expanding the margins to fit more words on each page. Consider each picture and word that you add there. Make sure it is essential to the document. If you can take out things, turn it into a half sheet. That will save so much paper. Another great way to save the paper is through online submissions. If you have a school website that allows you to do so, ask your students to submit their work via the online submission process, or they can email it to you. This will reduce the amount of packets and paper that the children have to turn in to you, and then you have to turn back to them. Another great way to reduce paper is by the use of whiteboards. Using an erasable marker for scratch paper, quick answers, things of that nature will really help reduce paper. And if you do not have access to whiteboards, I suggest laminating paper for each of the children to use in your class so that they can have access to the basic function of a whiteboard. A great way to also reduce waste in the classroom is to talk to your kids about how they can have a lunch that is not disposable. This means metal utensils, water bottles, food containers, lunch boxes that can be reused each day, not just a paper sack and a plastic fork. Those things that get tossed in the garbage take years and years and years to go away. So let's eliminate that now by teaching our children, teaching our students the right way. Okay, another good R is reuse. It would be a dream if every year we got brand new textbooks with that new book smell and those crisp untorn pages with no writing on them, but the reality is that it's wasteful to do so. As long as the information within the book is accurate, then that book can be used over and over again. One way that you can help the book last longer is by protecting them. You can make book jackets out of newspapers, magazines, wrapping paper. You can take the posters on the hallway made by the student body, take those down and turn them into book covers to protect the book and also to utilize paper to the fullest extent. Have supply bins in your class for extra utensils, short pencils that nobody really wants to use, and require that they use them. There's no reason not to. These are very good supplies and they should be used until there's nothing left. Another good plan for your classroom is having food packaging. Take that out and use it as organizers, as trays, as art projects. You can take some boring old Amazon wrapping material and turn it into a beautiful Seahawk sign. There are so many uses for all of the small things that you might recycle or throw away each day. You just have to show your ideas to the children and it will spark their imaginations and they will run free with their creativity. You would be surprised. Let's see, recycle is our last R, and recycle is one of the most important. It is an important duty not only to our nation, but also to the world around us. In 2012, EcoCycle came up with 10 reasons to recycle. Among these reasons, recycling prevents resource destruction and pollution, it saves energy and money, and it creates jobs. Of the paper that is recycling, it goes off to do lots of things. 40% is exported, 32% is turned into container board, the rest is turned into box board, tissue, newsprint, and other uses. This information is from the annual American Forest and Paper Association Fiber Survey from 2013. So, how can we recycle in class? There are so many ways, but the best way is to set specific guidelines at the beginning of the year. Not only having just this blue bin for them to put the recycling in, but you have to go over, show them what can be recycled. Sticky notes, flyers, handouts, tissue boxes, pudding containers, water bottles. There are so many things that your students you will see use on a daily basis that can go in here and go on to do bigger and better things. Help them feel good about recycling. Show them why they are doing so and what their decisions and actions will actually result in. The Environmental Protection Agency came out with a report about schools and offices in 2014, just last year, that said if students understand why they are recycling, they are more likely to put effort into it. You will see. Watch. Even having sort of a litter patrol will give responsibility and ensure cooperation for the environment. It's a great way to build that in your classroom. This is a graph that shows the discarded paper and paper board material from the year 1960 all the way to 2010 and every 10 years in between. As you can see, we had about almost 25 million tons of paper get discarded in 1960. We see this number rise. At 1990, we had almost 52,500,000 tons of paper being thrown into the trash. We got better as a nation. In 2010, we were only at 26,740,000 tons. That is still a lot. We can do better. With your help, we can make this number go all the way down to hopefully zero someday. There's no reason why paper should be discarded when it can do so many things if it is recycled or reused. This information is from the Environmental Protection Agency and their data from 2012. So, we have to work together. We must reduce. We have to use and use and use and use until there's nothing left of something. Before you throw a newspaper away, you must consider the possibilities that newspaper can go on to become. These 3 R's will help preserve the nation's resources, natural beauty, and clean air. The question is, will you pass it on? Show options, inform, and guide your children. Your students will come a long way and help save the world. Thank you.